I think there's one thing that we probably all have in common, and that is we love to complain about the government. Almost everybody does it. We complain about the politicians, about the political process, about policies. We complain about taxes and how our tax money is being spent. Oh, we know very well how to criticize everything about the government. However, when the chips are down and when everything is said, we love our country dearly. We are very proud to be American, and if anybody tries to insult our country, we'd be very defensive. And we realize that, our country is made up of human beings, and we're all sinners, and people have agendas and all the rest. But when we look at our nation, what's wrong with our country pales in comparison to what's right about it. And so indeed, we are proud Americans, and that's a good thing. I'm very proud to be an American, and I'm sure you are as well. So we give our country the respect and the honor it deserves. We render to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, the praise and the dedication and the devotion that we rightfully should be giving to our country. But as Jesus says in the gospel today, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, but give to God what is God's. Do we give the same devotion to God that we give to our country? Sometimes I'm not so sure. I see some people who are very proud of their political beliefs and their politicians and all that, and very big on their political views and things. But when it comes to the faith, it seems like it's very quiet. Like we're almost afraid to admit that we're Catholics, that somehow we maybe have to feel like we're embarrassed to go out in the world and tell people we're Catholic. And I know the Catholic Church has always been, some people say, out of step with the world, in which case I would say, well, it's the world that's out of step. It's not the church. It's not God who's out of step. It's God is here to save the world. The world is not here to save God, and the world is not here to save the church. But of course, we know sometimes there are going to be conflicts, and we feel uncomfortable when we have to defend beliefs that are not popular today, although we do it with our politics. We have no trouble defending our political beliefs. Why do we have trouble defending our moral beliefs? But at any rate, sometimes even we look at things that happen in the church and we can say that, the church is made up of sinners. From the Pope down to the simplest parishioner in the smallest parish in the world, we're all sinners. We're all on a journey together trying to reach heaven. And the beauty is that Jesus has chosen us with all of our sinfulness, with all of our warts, with all of our foibles, with everything that's wrong with us and weak in us. He's chosen us to be the ones that he has called to be the means by which he continues to guide the world. And in fact, the word church comes from, in Greek, ekklesia, which literally means those called out of the world. And if we can understand that we're the ones the Lord has called out of the world, even with our own weaknesses, to be the ones through whom he continues his work of salvation. And that even you and I, as we struggle for our own salvation, can lead other people and are called to lead other people to the Lord. And the church, through all of her foibles and all of her sins and the problems that have happened in our own time and throughout the centuries, still has done amazing things for the Lord. And that should give us reason to be proud of our Catholic faith. Who actually can look back, if we look at history, and see who has done more to make the world better than our Catholic faith? The church that Jesus created, through whom he promises to always teach us till the end of time. Do we realize that we are actually called by God to be part of him in our baptism? When we receive his flesh and blood in the Eucharist, we are physically part of Jesus. He is drawing us into himself so that we are his body and blood in the world. And when we realize that we are the continuing presence of Christ out to save the world, should that not make us proud? Should we never be embarrassed to admit that we're Catholic? Yeah, once in a while we may have to apologize for a mistake, a sin by somebody here or there. Fair enough. But just like our nation, when all is said and done, when we look at our faith, what's wrong and the weaknesses of players in the church today pale in comparison to what's right about the church. That Christ is continuing to save the world through us and called us to share in that glory with him and in that great mission. Are we proud to be Catholic? We should indeed be very proud of that and give glory to God and honor for the fact that he has chosen us to be ones that, even with our own sins and weaknesses that we struggle with every day, he still can do amazing things through us. And so, we give great honor and glory to our nation. We give great honor and glory to the church, to Caesar. Do we give great honor and glory to God? Are we proud of our Catholic faith? Are we able to be bold in our faith and go out proudly and tell people, look what Christ has done for me. With all of my sins, he still loves me and he still can do great things through me. That indeed should make all of us proud. Indeed, we give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Let us make sure we give to God all the glory and honor that is due him. We give to God what is God's. May Jesus Christ be praised.